Hello everyone and welcome to tonight's stream. Today we have a special guest, Grandmaster Alin Berescu, who is the team captain of Romania. Hello Alin.
Hello Irina, hello everybody, and thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for accepting to join the stream. I think everyone will be curious to learn your insights from the matches over the past 3 days and over today's matches as well.
We'll see if I have something interesting to share. I don't know yet.
All right, so let's start with the good news that Romania's team qualified for the top division. Well, we hoped that we could even win the group, but we had a little bit less luck than the winner of the group, who was Greece. Congratulations to them as well. Today's first match we played against the team of Israel, a really strong team. And the result was maybe a little bit unexpected, at least for me. I didn't think we would win with such a big score.
Who would have thought this?
Yes, indeed.
It was quite a huge score.
All right, so let's start looking at the first game. On the first board, there was Maxim Rothstein, 26-24 rated with white pieces, versus our first board, Grandmaster Constantin Lupulescu. So let's start. D4, D5, C4, E6, Knight C3, A6, E takes. I think A6 is
A6,
quite popular, right?
It became popular lately, but I think the main reason was just to avoid the theory. But then they also developed the theory here. It's almost a main line for many players nowadays. But I think it was a very good choice today, which Constantin made to avoid some main lines in the Catalan or something else, which Rothstein probably would have been expecting.
Right.
We also spoke on the phone, and Kostika asked me what do I think about this, and I said, okay, it's a great idea to avoid everything and just play a normal position, and you'll get your chances. So it was good.
I see. So it was all well thought before the game.
Yeah.
All right. So Bishop F4 happened, Knight F6, E3, and here there was a strange looking move for me, C5. Well, I'm not very well accustomed to these variations, but somehow C5 seemed a bit strange for me, even though I checked afterwards that black has a really good score in this variation.
Yeah, probably more players are playing the Carlsbad structure in this situation, and they wait for the pawn to put it on c6 at the end. But also c5, it's very strong. And as you said, it has quite a good result for black. So probably Kostika was well aware of this.
Yeah, so maybe I should check it myself to add some new variation to my repertoire.
It's not a bad idea at all.
All right, so Knight F3 followed. And here probably black's main idea of playing c5 followed c4.
Exactly. Already gaining space on the queen side, avoiding the isolated pawn structures.
Yeah, probably if white would have taken immediately on c5, black would be in time with playing bishop g4, castle, and then d4 at some point. So probably that was the reason why Maxim did not take on c5 immediately.
And also usually you as white want to take on c5 after eventually black develop the bishop from f8 to e7, for example, and to lose another tempo. But
Yeah,
I
right.
think this is why usually in this kind of situations, white is waiting a little bit to exchange
Right,
that
but
pawn.
here the waiting did not succeed, as after c4, white faces some real problems, like what to do next. Probably he has to somehow prepare the plan with f3 and e4 at some point. At least that's what I would think, to somehow break through in the center. But okay, knight e5 followed.
Yeah. And
b5.
from now on, I think the blacks play it's quite easy, and you don't have to be an expert as black to play like Kostika played. It seemed an extremely easy win, at least without analyzing that in deep.
That was actually my impression as well. A3 followed, bishop b7, bishop g5, bishop e7. And here I think was the first moment when white went really wrong by capturing on f6.
Yeah, I think too. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
I didn't like this for white.
Yeah, perhaps he should have played something like bishop e2 and castle, but well, black doesn't face any serious problems, I think. Anyway, bishop f6 followed, bishop takes, bishop e2, knight d7, f4, short castle, bishop f3 and knight b6. Now it feels that the pawn on d5 is really safe, and probably black will just simply prepare b4.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. Such an easy play for black. Nothing special to do, actually. He didn't do anything beyond expectations.
So by this point, when you were watching the game live, did you already think that Kostika will have his chances to win?
Okay, maybe not to win, but at least I said he doesn't have any problems. So here is already okay. A black for us, which we don't have any problems. I was looking already for the others to see what how are they doing in the opening.
I
was
see.
hoping
It's always
no one
nice
has
for us,
problems.
for
Yeah,
players,
yeah,
to make the team captain happy about our opening.
Of course.
All right, let's see how the game developed. Short castle, bishop e7 now.
Yeah, now it's a very good plan to kick that knight off with f6, and then white has actually nothing to do.
Yeah, indeed, the knight on e5 is looking like the strongest piece in white's position, so why not to kick off this
Yeah,
piece?
exactly.
Yeah. Queen c2, f6, knight g4, queen d7.
Now again, easy moves for black. Queen d7, defending the b5 pawn. He wants to play a5, b4. It's easy, very easy play.
I really like how this thing about grandmasters games, that when they do play their best, it seems like winning is so easy against strong players.
Exactly. He made it look so easy.
Yeah. Alright, so now black followed up his plan by playing a5, knight g3, b4, h4. White is trying to somehow muddy the waters here with...
Already white can feel some desperation in his game, in his play, actually, because he didn't find any good plan at all.
Indeed. Rook f to c8, h5, and b3. A really good move, I think. Myself, I was thinking about something like c3, but it appears that b3 is a better way to handle the queen side.
Yeah, because now probably white is already late in blocking the c3 square. So while black will play maybe knight a4 and c3, and he'll break through here somehow.
Right, even maybe c3 immediately and then knight c4 after queen d2, for example, could happen, right?
Yeah, even that can be a good reason to play for. Yeah.
Alright, so now queen f5 followed, queen takes, knight takes, king f7, knight f2, and c3. And well, black has a huge advantage here, and black was able to actually convert it quite nicely without having any particular problems in the rest of the game. So I think we can stop it here and congratulate Konstantin for a really good game. Hello Sperry, hello Ilkonebi, nice to see everyone on tonight's stream. Thank you for joining.
Hello everybody.
If you want to ask some questions, I will be happy to read them to Alin, and I'm sure he'll take his time to answer them.
Of course.
Alright, let's move on to the next game of our today's match versus the team from Israel. So on the second board, Grandmaster Mircea Perligras had the white pieces against Grandmaster Ilya Smirin. And we saw Mircea playing e4, which is not such an unusual first move for him.
Yeah, but for sure he was also very well prepared, because somehow we guessed how will Israel put the team. So we were expecting for the second board to come Ilya Smirin, so it was not a surprise, and that's why probably Mircea prepared something special for him, not to risk too much. Indeed. Because anyway, the best players from Israel were on the first two boards, so it was very important to keep them
in the leash, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yes. All right, so let's see how this game went on. e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6, and the somewhat unusual move c3 followed. Well, I'm not very familiar.
Mircea played a lot also this Sicilian with c3 on second or third move when he was younger. So I think he still has it. Sometimes.
Anyways, these days he's more of a d4 player on the first move, so I'm sure it came as a surprise to Grandmaster Smirin.
Yeah, of course.
And he played knight f6. Mircea continued with e5, and after knight d5, d4, it transposed to this 2c3 Sicilian, I think.
Yeah, it's normal position, Alapin.
Yeah. C takes d4, c takes, d6, bishop c4, and e6 followed, transposing to the main line, I think. Short castle, bishop e7, queen e2. I actually remember that many years ago, maybe like more than 10 years ago, I was playing myself the Alapin with the white pieces, and actually after short castle, rook d1 was a move which I analyzed, and I remember it wasn't played that much, but during that time I was one of the first ones to play this rook d1.
Yeah, we have some specialists here in Romania. One of your good friends, Vaida Levente, you know, of course. You played probably a lot with him.
His old favorite is the Alapin, right?
Yeah, exactly. He played it all his life, actually, since he was a small kid. Because I know we played together a lot of this kind of positions.
All right, so maybe during their co-streams with Levente, maybe he suggested him to play this. What do you think?
Who knows? Maybe. I have to ask Mircea.
Right.
What's the secret?
Okay, so here a6 followed, a3, b5, and here I'm not sure why did Mircea take on d5. That's a question I wanted to ask you, because it feels to me more natural to play bishop d3 and somehow think about queen e4 than provoking some weaknesses in on black's king side.
Yeah, probably this would be the normal play if you want to gain some concrete advantage in the opening. But I think Mircea was in the mood, something like just don't take any risks and play for a safe position. If you can get something, it's okay. If not, a draw would be also okay for the team. So I think this is the reason actually why he took on d5, because you
Okay.
saw after that he doesn't have any risks, and only if black makes some small mistakes, then who knows, maybe white can get some small advantage.
Yes, indeed,
But
it
it
felt
was
like White was playing for two results in these games, not taking
mm,
any risks at all. Hello, Greg, welcome to the stream. Alright, so bishop d5 followed, e takes, knight c3 now, d takes e5, knight takes c5, maybe d takes e5, I
yeah,
think, would have been a
mm,
bit more ambitious, right?
exactly, yeah, that's what I thought too. But I was feeling something like here will be a quick draw after exchanging a lot of pieces.
Yeah, right. 95 followed, 95, d takes, bishop b7, bishop b3. Anyway, it's only white who can play for something here because of the weak pawn on
Exactly.
d5.
Hmm.
Queen d7,
Windows 7.
knight e4, rook a to c8, b4, queen c6. Actually, this game didn't last for much longer because after rook a to c1, queen g6, bishop c5, d takes e4, bishop e7, a draw was agreed. So by this
Yeah.
point, we already had a 1 point lead.
Yeah, but in live score it was just
Just
equal
this
in this
draw.
moment. Yeah, it was the first draw, so we didn't know yet what will happen.
Right. Vlad Chess is saying that Romania destroyed Israel and then celebrated the advance to top division. Right. Maybe that was the case, indeed.
And yeah, probably it happened something like this.
Yeah, actually, when you already assure yourself your goal, then it's really difficult to stay motivated. So I think that might have been an issue for us after this match.
Yeah, and also the position which you finish is not so important. It was the most important thing to be in the top three, actually. So probably this is another reason why we somehow didn't concentrate that well in the last two rounds. But
Right.
it will be different in next stage. So I will have to keep you focused till the end, because in that case the first position will be much in a much better position after that stage,
Ah,
in
I
the
see.
elimination stage. The system will be something like this. There will be four divisions of 10 teams, and the first three qualify for the elimination round. But after that, in the first elimination round, they are playing the second position from each group against the third position from the other groups. And
I
after
see.
that, the winner of those duels will play against number one in every division.
Ah, wow,
So,
that's a
so
strange system.
yeah, somehow the second and third positions will play a match, an extra match till the
Ah, so
end.
it's better to finish first.
Exactly, exactly. That's why it will be a bit different.
I see. So Vova is asking, hi all, how is it playing actually? There were some wild cards and others had to qualify. Uh, Aline, do you know the system, how
Um,
everyone qualified?
as long as I know, they started from Division 5, something like this. It was Gaprindashvili standings, I think, from the last Olympiad, and they made some standings there. And I don't know exactly. I didn't follow, to be honest, those divisions, but the system was something like same. Like it was like here, same 10.
10,
I think,
10 teams
yeah,
groups.
10 teams in a group, and the same was happening in every division. First three went further, from the fifth division to fourth, and then the first three to third, and so on.
Yeah,
And
and I
now it's the
also
same.
think that like 20 teams were qualified by default to the top division, like the strongest of the continents, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. It was, but I think, yeah, five from from four different continents, besides the qualified teams from now from the second division.
Right. So Vlad is saying that we can definitely qualify to the playoff phase. That's what we are hoping for as well.
Yeah, of course.
How do they keep track of players? Zoom call and screen share. Indeed, Vlad Chess. So there were like one arbiter for two teams, and he was checking constantly our screens, our task manager, muting us, then unmuting us, and this kind of stuff. All right.
And the captains should be always quiet in that Zoom area. It's quite difficult. So.
Yeah, so did you feel at any time that you like wanted to scream too?
Yeah, that's a pity. They never allow us in chess to celebrate a goal like we score in football, for example. You always have to be very serious and okay, I'm sorry, I won a game.
Yeah,
Something
right.
like this, I don't know why. Even in snooker, if you follow, sometimes they are also very serious guys, but at the end, when they win the match, they do something like this. Yes, and this is normal in
somehow,
sport.
to my mind, it comes the figure of during yesterday of Manchester's coach when he was just falling on the stadium and well, making all kind of faces after Manchester lost.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Let's hope you won't feel like doing this in the top division.
Wouldn't be bad at all. I hope so.
Hello, Il Konebi. Actually, Il Konebi is my sister who is now back in the UK, so I would like to greet her on the stream. Thanks for joining.
Hello.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the next game, which is actually mine. So I think it was the smoothest
one
game.
of the best actually of your games.
Yeah, I think it was the smoothest game I played these days. So I played against international master Julia Schweiger, and I was with black pieces. It was Najdorf, knight c3, a6, g3. Actually, I thought that she might play this, e5, but I did not expect the knight d2 e2 move. I only checked that she played knight b3 before, so it came as a little bit of a surprise, but
is it still the main line, this knight d to e2?
I think they are both like the first and the second line, so yeah. Bishop e7, bishop g2, and here, yeah, there is this tricky way of starting with knight b d7, with the idea to play b5. So I think white's main move here is to play a4 in order to prevent b5. Yeah, indeed, Vlad, Yulia is the wife of Arkady Naidich. You know all the chess insides. Yeah. So, yeah, here I think it was already a little inaccuracy from her not to play a4 and to go for short castle. Because here
after that, yeah, you already don't have any problems already.
Yes, that was how I felt as well. Knight e5 followed, knight takes, queen takes, rook b8, bishop e3, short castle, rook f to d1, and it's really easy again for black to play. There's nothing too much I have to invent here.
Exactly, yeah. It seemed like Kostika's game. So you didn't do anything special, but the game was just going your way.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope that all my games could be like this, but unfortunately, I'm still far from that. Okay, queen c7, queen d2, bishop b7, knight c3. Yeah, here I was not sure if to play knight b6 or to go for b4. I didn't like that after knight b6 she can just take and play knight d5. By this point I already understood that she wants to make a draw, so
Exactly, yeah.
I was trying to find the best chances for myself. Vlad Chess is saying that knight bd7 is not so typical. Indeed, it is a bit of a trickier move order, as I said, in order to have this b5 idea, so that knight d5 doesn't work there. All right, so I chose to play b4 here, knight d5, bishop d5, e takes, and f5. And here I was not sure how to actually evaluate the position if she would play a3, which seemed like the most
probably
natural.
probably white should play a3 and open the a file, but probably it's equal. It's just equal. For if both players are not making any mistakes, I think this would go for a draw. But to be honest, I always preferred black pawn structure in these situations. I don't know why. They
Maybe
are equal,
because
but
you are a Najdorf player yourself, even if with the white pieces more, but...
yes, and to be honest, I was avoiding many times as white to get in this kind of situations. That's why I was avoiding to put my knight on d5 if I cannot retake with some piece, and I didn't want to take with the pawn.
Yes, this is tricky, and actually it's interesting that this kind of structure arose in more of the games from Romania's matches today.
Yeah, I saw some white players from us also played this structure, but I think if we follow the score, white didn't do that well in this kind of position, right? I remember Mihaela, I think, right, lost
Yes,
her
yes.
last game against
Right.
Moldavia in the same structure. Even it was looking much better for white than we see here. She
Yes,
was already
indeed.
with the c4 and b4 pawn pushed.
The problem here, I think, in these types of positions, even when white succeeds to play c4 before, is not to overexpand, because if you're too optimistic, then you might end up in a strategically lost position. So that's
Yeah,
actually what happened.
on the long term, black always has this majority on the queen on the king side, so it can always become very dangerous.
Okay, so people are asking what would happen if c3 would be played. Well, c3 probably wouldn't work so well here, because after b takes c3, that pawns will become a target. But my opponent played rook a to c1 with the idea to play c3 and then to be able to capture with the rook there to try to gain control over the c file. But here knight c5 followed. And after c3, the problem is that black has b3, of course not opening up the c file for white, and instead fixing white's pawns on the queen side.
Yeah, very good decision. Also activating your pieces on the b file.
Right.
So you are already in control here.
Yeah, she took on c5 here. That was probably another mistake, but as I said, it felt to me like she just wanted to go for a draw, so perhaps that's why she made this decision, because otherwise I don't see really a reason to give up that bishop for the knight.
Exactly.
Bishop
She
c4.
was hoping to transpose into opposite bishop's color, so and make a draw, as you said. But
Yeah.
it's not always a draw if there are many uh, heavy pieces on the board, right?
Right, yes. So here she took on b3, rook b3, queen c2, queen b6, rook b1, g6, preparing to go away with the rook from f8, bishop f1, rook b8. And here already white is in big trouble, because after bishop c4, taking everything on b2 and bishop a6, the problem is that white will not be able to hold on to both pawns on c3 and on f2.
Yeah, exactly. Because the black bishop will have a target on f2, and the white bishop does nothing actually. This is
Yes,
the main difference in the position.
right. Bishop d8 followed, rook e1, bishop a5, rook e3, rook c2, king g2. Well, here I thought that after bishop c3 she can play rook e2, so I thought it's better to play bishop b6, rook e2, rook takes c3. I'm already a pawn up, and my plan is really simple, to just push e4 and then to bring the king towards e5, and then to see what happens next.
Yeah. Seems easy, right?
Yeah. That's actually what happened in the game as well. Rook b2, bishop d4, rook a2, e4, rook e2 back, king g7, bishop b5, king f6, bishop d7, h6, h4, rook f3. Well, there is just this really nice finish, which I found a little combination in the end that I wanted to show. g5, h takes, bishop g6, king d5. I think here she was happy after g4 that maybe it's a draw, but actually rook takes f2 followed, and the problem is that after rook f2, bishop f2, if she would have taken on f2, then after f4 this endgame would have been totally lost for white. The bishop cannot fight against all these three pawns.
Yeah, very nice technique. See, I told you. I liked that. I was sure you already saw this idea when you pushed the g5. I didn't expect anything else to happen, so
Yeah,
I was
actually I
confident.
wanted to go for this idea even when she was with the pawn on g3, so that was somehow I was trying to prepare it.
Mm.
All right,
Yeah,
so
it was
that
a
was
good timing for this.
yes, indeed. All right, so let's move on to the next game, which is the game between Corina Peptan and Lahav Mihal. d4, knight f6, c4, c5, knight f3, c takes, knight takes, g6, knight c3, bishop g7, g3, knight c6, bishop g2. I don't even know, is this called, how is this called?
I'm not sure about the names. I was never a name expert in the openings or in the variations, but I think it's a very popular position. You can get it in many different move order.
Yeah, okay, so short castle followed, short castle, knight d4, queen d4, d6. So it's also almost like a Sicilian, but without the pawn on e4.
Yeah, exactly. I was getting this few times when I was playing white and starting with c4, for example. So, and that's why I said it's in various orders you can get this position. It seems easy play for white. You have some space advantage. Okay, black is also very solid.
Yeah, but also what I like about these positions without the pawn on e4 is that how Corina also proved in the game, the queen can come to h4 and start some mating ideas against black's king.
And also the bishop from g2 does something,
Ah,
at
right,
least.
right.
The difference from classical Maroczy position
Indeed.
with e4 and c4 and that bishop, ugly bishop on f1 or e2 or wherever you put it, it's a bad bishop.
Right. All right, so here bishop d2 followed, bishop f5, queen h4, rook c8, rook c1, b6, b3, all very logical, rook e8, h3, bishop d7, bishop g5, bishop c6, knight d5. And here I feel that black started to go wrong here after capturing with the bishop on d5. Maybe it would have been better not to give up the pair of bishops and try to capture with the knight on d5.
The main difference is actually because it is bad, as you said, to give up the bishop, because the c6 square is very weak. With the black pawn on b7 instead of b6, it would have been much easier for black to defend.
Right.
But even though if you are not forced to give up the bishop, then better don't give it.
Good piece of advice.
Yeah,
Right.
Exchange the knights and that's it.
Yeah, so in the game bishop d5 followed, and here after c takes d5, as Aline mentioned, this c6 square is really weak now, and it can become an outpost for white's rook. Queen d7 followed, queen f4, queen b5, queen d2, rook c5, bishop e3, and after rook c8, rook c6, I think that white was already doing really great here.
Great technique so far.
Yes.
From white.
I think there were some hitch-ups on the way, but in the end Irina won this game fully deserved, as I would say, as she played really nicely the opening and outplay by this point her opponent. So let's move on to the next one.
Okay, let's see.
The next one, actually is a very tough one. If I remember right, Gorodetsky David versus Bogdan Diak.
Okay, I find it.
Okay, so Bogdan had the black pieces, c4, e6, knight c3, d5, d4, c6.
It was this Marshall Gambit, or how is it called?
I'm not sure how it is called, but it is really, really tricky and dangerous.
Yeah. I think it's Marshall Gambit, not Marshall Attack from
the Ruy
from the
Lopez.
Spanish. Yeah, not that one.
I see. Hello, Nachik. Welcome to the stream. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining the stream tonight and for supporting Romania's team. All right, e4, d takes, knight takes, bishop b4, bishop d2, queen d4. I think this is very theoretical, this position.
Exactly. We have to have a very good memory to be able to play this.
It's good that
even
we have
with black or white.
It's good that we have such young and talented players like Bogdan, who does have the memory, the work, the skill, you know.
Exactly.
All right, queen e4 followed, knight e2, knight d7, queen d6, a5. I actually checked briefly this position, and it appeared that bishop c3 is not the main move here. The main one is bishop a3, actually.
a3, yeah, to stay in the game there on the black squares around the king.
Right. So perhaps, but anyway, it doesn't feel like it can be a bad move anyway. So bishop c3. Black is a pawn up, but okay, the king is a little bit in trouble in the center. I would say that the position is still really double-edged.
Yeah, of course. And don't play these positions with black, for example, against Jobaba or some attacking guys. It's a piece of advice. Better avoid it. Even if you know theory, you'll get in trouble.
Indeed. Knight g2 f6 followed, b3, queen f5, f3, queen c5. And that's why actually white maybe should have preferred to keep the bishop on a3 so that it wouldn't be that easy to kick this queen from d6 and then to be able to castle. So
yeah, well, actually, after the gambit, white played too slow. It's never the way to go. If you sacrifice a pawn, then you have to be very active in the opening. So, but
right.
as you see, white did nothing after he gave up the pawn.
Yes, exactly. Queen
And
d2.
he lost his initiative. Yeah.
Short castle followed here. And very aggressive move, g4.
Out of desperation, I think. He's a pawn down and nothing to play for. So he must find something.
Right. Indeed, Vlad chess. Apparently, this was a Marshall gambit. So, yeah, that's what it's coming from.
I guessed correctly.
Right. e5, knight g3, knight e8. Okay, now Bogdan found this nice route for his knight to bring it from f6, where it wasn't doing too much, via e8 and c7 to e6, because white weakened its dark squares a bit. Bishop d3 followed, knight c7, rook d1, knight e6, bishop f5. Well, white still has some compensation because black still didn't manage to untie all his pieces.
Yeah, of course. Still not easy.
So Bogdan played knight d4, giving up the pawn, but managing
finishing his development somehow.
Right. Bishop d4, it takes, queen takes, rook takes, knight c5. So, Aline, I have a question for you here. During this match, which was the game which you were most worried about?
To be honest, none so far from these games we saw. I was very confident in all of those. I don't exactly remember how it was on the last boards, but we'll see, and I will remember my feelings from live transmission.
Okay, so I will be coming back with that question.
Yeah. But so far, I was very confident for all those games.
All right. King f2, g6 followed, bishop c2, bishop e6, rook d1, b5, c takes. Actually, this looked like a very leveled position, and at the beginning I thought that it would be a draw, but then when I was checking it, I was a little bit surprised by the result. h4, rook f2, c8, rook d2, b4. Well, black has some little advantage, maybe because of the better queen side, I would say.
Exactly, yeah. But probably it's not enough for a win if white doesn't collaborate a little bit.
Right. g5, a4, rook takes b4, everything was exchanged on b3, rook b8, take, rook d5, knight takes b3.
Yeah.
And here everyone would have expected it to end up in a draw, right?
Exactly. I stopped actually following this game after I saw this. I was calculating, okay, this is a draw, and I was watching the other games.
Yeah, but maybe Bogdan's opponent knew that his team was not doing so fine, or
probably
something like
probably
this.
He was following the score, and he thought he must play for a win somehow. Otherwise, you cannot lose this with white pieces, of course.
Yeah, So I will bring it to the position to the move 49 now, because that's when the real trouble started for white. Because until then it looked like white tries something, but of course with 3 to 3 there couldn't have been much. And here at move 50, white blundered by playing knight to e7. And actually Bogdan could have taken immediately on e7, and then knight
incredible.
f5.
I didn't see this live.
Yes, but instead he played king h7. They were probably both on seconds, I would guess.
Yeah, for sure. Move 50,
here,
it's impossible to have time on the clock.
And after rook e5, Bogdan played finally rook e7, and knight f5, and yeah, that was a win, a bit of a lucky one, but well, white did it to himself by pushing too much, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's move on to the next game, which is the one of our junior girl.
I think she was a little bit in trouble, or not. I don't remember exactly.
Not sure. Let's check it out. So
now I remember. I saw the structure, and I think here I was feeling that white was a little bit worse, but nothing concrete.
All right. So it was a Ruy Lopez, bishop a4, knight f6 with d3, b5, bishop b3, bishop c5, castle d6, knight c3, knight a5, bishop e3. Well, probably that's not the most ambitious way to play with white for an advantage, but well, I guess for online chess it's not really necessary to play all the main lines.
Yeah, just be fast.
Right. Bishop takes e3, f takes, knight b3, a takes, bishop d7, queen d2, short castle, b4, queen e7, h3, c5. B takes, d takes, queen f2. Well, black's position looks fine to me, like black
probably the white queen should have gone from d1 to e1 and the g3 probably. It would be faster a little bit.
Yeah, she probably lost some tempis on the way. A5 followed, knight h4, going for an attack on the king side. Rook d8, knight f5, bishop takes, queen takes, b4. And now I remember here was the moment where Miruna went wrong. She played knight e2, which looks quite natural. She is an attacking player, so...
she wants to go for the kill.
Right.
On g3, f5, and so on. But probably strategically it's better to put it on a4.
Exactly.
On the rim. And b3 and stabilize there. And
then maybe bring the knight to c4.
Exactly, something like this.
Yeah, probably after knight a4, black would have to play b3 himself in order not to get really worse.
Probably he is forced to do it.
Right. Anyway, the game continued with knight e2, and here probably black could have played a4 and then a3, trying to create a passed pawn.
Exactly. It becomes already very dangerous, that pawn.
Right.
Yeah, that's why now I remember I was a little bit afraid from this position.
Indeed.
I saw some potential for black.
Sperry, Marshall Gambit already went by, so that was the previous game. Alright, just keeping an eye on the chat. c4 followed, d takes c4, rook d2, knight g3, rook takes c2, b3. Queen c5.
And here, still looking dangerous.
Yes, it looks like white's attack is slower than black's one.
Okay, yeah, but at least white can use his knight in attack easier than black.
Right. Let's see how Miruna outplayed her opponent, because she also won the game.
As we know, the knight is always dangerous in blitz and rapid games.
Knight h5 followed, queen e3, king h1, queen e2, knight f6, g takes, rook g1. And actually here black had to play king g7, where the position would still be unclear, I would say. Because after king g7, rook f1, black has rook a6, somehow defending everything. Wait. No, king g7 actually happened in the game and it was bad. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, so instead she had to play queen f2. Right, not to allow the rook on f1, because actually that's where the problem started.
To kick the queen out there.
Yes. So instead she played king g7, yeah, right. And here after rook a to f1, rook a6 is forced.
And now rook f3.
Yes. And after rook f3, unfortunately for black, there is no way to defend well the king. Also, the problem is that after rook c3, queen g4 check, black cannot really go on the last rank because of queen c8, and then the rook on a6 is falling. So a really nice turnover by Miruna. King h6 followed. Rook f6.
But what would have happened, for example, after rook f3? What if I play rook e6? I don't know, something like this, to try to defend that.
That is
I'm not losing in one move at least.
Right. So let's see. I'm not sure.
Rook e6. I don't see exactly how white can win by force, but probably it's not necessary.
Maybe
you can just play rook g3, yeah, and queen h7 or something like this. If I go king f8, just take the pawn and still play.
Yeah, it already looks like it's black's king who will be in trouble, one way or another.
Because after you put your rook on g3, the other one is free to go anywhere. So that's an improvement,
right,
from white for the rook position. For example, you can go to a1 to start attacking on the a file.
Yeah, that's a really nice idea. Okay, so in the game, rook c3 happened, and after queen g4, king h6, rook takes f6, white just won the queen, and shortly after the game as well.
Yeah, very nice combination.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next game, which is... is it already over?
So actually it was, all the match. It was like this. And it went everywhere in our way.
Indeed. So the match versus Israel ended with 5.5 versus half point, which was a really cool score.
we can say Ilyas Mirin was lucky because Mircea didn't risk anything, because as we see, everybody was lucky a little bit here in our match.
Right.
Whoever tried something, he accomplished his mission.
Unfortunately, I think that in the next match we lacked that luck which we had in the previous one.
It's true. Okay, let's see that one.
So we played against Latvia in the next match, and actually the girls struggled in this match. Me included, unfortunately. Alright, so the first game is the one of Lucian Miron versus Kantan Stoms. So Lucian had the white pieces, and actually this game really looks like a preparation win, because
Yeah, but the preparation was from black's side, actually.
I think
This is
from white side as
interesting.
well, no?
No, no, no. Probably he was remembering something. I'm not sure he knew from preparation. Probably he made this preparation, but not for today. But
Anyway, he
for
played a
black,
really
it
nice
was
game.
for sure because I saw the timing and always black was playing fast in the opening.
I see.
That's why I said.
I checked
But
that Tom's also played this variation before, but it might be the case that he plays many variations like this, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably. It cannot be a main line for any player. You cannot play only this by black because it's way too risky. And
Right.
I know, okay, when I was a kid, this was analyzed till the end. It was something white wins by force, I think, on that time without strong computers. But now probably they found something for black.
Actually, I remember that I was checking this variation some years ago, and I was preparing this for someone. But now that I looked at it, I did not remember anything. Only when I was pushing next, I said, right, this was such a nice move White had. So let's head on to the game. And thank you for the raid, Chess Queen. It is really nice to see you on the stream. Alright, e4, c5, knight f3, knight f6, e5, knight d5, knight c3, e6, knight takes, e takes, d4, knight c6, d takes, bishop c5, queen d5, queen b6, bishop c4. Well, this line, yeah, like Alin said, was supposed to be bad for black, but white has to remember everything and also to take some risks.
Probably if you don't know any theory as white here, it's not that easy to play bishop c4 and to allow the bishop on f2 and to play on.
Indeed.
Maybe black is relying on this maybe surprise element when he plays this variation. That's why I said probably it should be one of the 10 or 50 other variations to play as black. You cannot play it too often.
So indeed here we played against Latvia Play Smart. Bishop takes f2, king e2 followed, short castle, rook f1, bishop c5, I think all forced so far.
Yes,
and here knight g5, putting some extra pressure on f7. I think that's still analysis because I think it's the best. Games.
Yeah, as I remember, this is the best for white.
I see. Knight d4 now, king d1. Yeah, also quite kind of forced. Knight e6, knight e4. Well, this position looks very tricky. I'm not sure.
Yeah, black must do that d6 to try to open the files and to continue development.
Right, so d6 followed, e takes, rook d8.
What else?
Queen h5, bishop takes d6. And I think here was the moment when Lucian found the most important move here, which is bishop d3, after which white is almost winning actually.
Yeah, so, it looks like this, defending the king and actually attacking the black king at the same time. Yeah. So here I don't see anything for black to do.
Yeah, he played.
I don't know what went wrong exactly for black.
I think the whole concept, the whole variation was wrong.
It looks shaky from the beginning.
Yeah.
But I think if you play it, you have to have something in mind and some tricks. But I didn't see any from black's side. I don't know.
Yes, actually, I'm also not sure where black could improve his play. Bishop c7 followed, bishop d2, queen takes b2, bishop c3, queen a3, rook takes f7, It was a complete slaughter here.
Yeah, all the white pieces are looking at the king.
Right. Bishop e5, bishop takes, rook d3, c takes, queen d3, knight d2. Well, and here white is already full rook up. Yeah. So the game didn't continue for much longer. And I think that was probably the first game to finish, right?
Yeah, exactly. It started amazing for us. I thought it will be another score, a huge score, something for us.
Yeah, but unfortunately it did not continue in the same style.
It was incredible, actually, what happened afterwards.
Yes, indeed. All right, let's move on to the next game. I'm just, waiting when my game will pop up on the screen, and then I don't know, I will run away somewhere, I think. No Fortnite. Alin is Romania's team coach, not my personal coach. Though if he wants, he can definitely give me advice. I will listen to it most thankfully. All right, so let's go for the next game, which is between Miezis Normunds and our youngster, international master, David Gavrilescu.
Yeah,
so
it was a good game from our guy.
Yes, indeed. So, as I was saying, the problems were on the women's board. All right. But let's not jump ahead. c4 e6, e4 d5, e takes, d4, knight f6, knight c3, bishop b4, bishop d3, short castle.
It's a French exchange, actually.
Yes, one which I always like to play. I mean, it's so nice for me to play against an isolated pawn, especially when the time control are really short, because then I feel that in the end I will have an advantage if I manage to to change everything and go to an endgame.
Yeah, so the one with the isolated pawn has to do something, has to create something to compensate that.
It's much easier to play for the side against the isolated pawn, at least for myself.
Yeah, probably Levi would say different, but ask him tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe I will. All right, short castle, knight g2, rook e8, c takes d5. Oh, sorry for jumping. C takes d5, knight d7, short castle, knight b6, bishop g5, h6. Bishop h4 followed. Maybe white could have tried to take on f6 and then to try somehow
to hold, right? To hold it to that pawn. Huh?
Yes, that was what I was thinking. Yeah, but instead, sorry.
No, I think at the end that pawn would fall anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, not very quickly, but
probably. Anyway,
it wouldn't be an advantage for white, I think. Anyway,
yes, most certainly.
Something, yeah.
I'm already trying with white not to be worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Bishop h4, bishop e7 followed. Now it's not convenient for white anymore to take on f6, of course. So bishop g3, knight d5, bishop c4, c6, knight f4, take, bishop d6. We must say that all the exchanges favor black in this position, because in the end the pawn on d4 will be really weak.
And as we will see, it will fall at the end.
Right. Queen f3, bishop g4, queen g3, bishop takes, queen d7, rook e1, take, rook d8, h3, and now small tactics, but pretty
easy.
Yeah, queen takes d4. All right, some new follows tonight. Thank you guys for following. queen d4, queen c7. The problem is that at the end of the variation the bishop on c4 is hanging. So yeah, queen c7, rook d7, queen c8, king h7, h takes g4, queen takes c4, and black is actually a pawn up here. And I must say that black was able to convert this game quite nicely without any hitch-ups. So black showed some good technique here and brought another point to Romania's team.
Yeah, so everything seemed very fine for us.
Right.
Still, yeah.
Let's move on to the next game, which is actually
yours,
my game.
Actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, guys, at some point, maybe I will run away when I will feel really ashamed of what I did.
No, come on. You had only 10 seconds when you started to play badly, so it's a good excuse at least.
Okay, yes, I can find endless excuses, but unfortunately, I don't believe in excuses. So, okay, let's check the game. I played against woman grandmaster Laura Rogule, who actually is quite a tricky
Minister
player.
of Finance from Latvia.
No, it's
not anymore,
it's not
not
her.
Not her.
No, it was
my mistake.
Raisnica Dana, very similar name. Yes. Okay, so here she played with the black pieces, e4, c5, and I chose to play this pet line with bishop e2, which the viewers know that I'm sometimes using in my blitz games on the streams. Knight c6, f4, g6, knight f3, bishop g7, short castle, d5, d3, b6. Well, I don't know, it felt natural until this point how I played.
Yeah, of course, if you start with bishop e2, you cannot expect to gain that much in the opening, right?
Right, indeed.
So it is okay from
now. c3, bishop b7, e5 now, d4, and here I already remember spending quite a lot of time because I was not sure how to continue. I didn't really like c4 because after knight h6, knight f5, this e3 square will be really weak. So I tried to make c takes d4 work, but then I couldn't. I disliked my position there as well. So finally I decided to go for c4, and I saw that after knight h6 I have this knight a3, so the knight goes to c2 and kind of covers the e3 square. That's what happened in the game actually. Short castle, knight g5 now. Yeah.
Good strategical decision. Put the bishop on f3, knight goes on e4 if necessary.
Yes, but actually
knight can stay on g5 actually if black allows it, right?
Yeah, but my main concern why I played the knight g5 was because I was afraid that f6 is already coming, and I was not sure what will I do after it. So that's why I tried to sort of prevent it. Knight g5, queen d7, bishop f3. And here, of course, black could have played knight f5 and then play maybe e6 or maybe h6 and then something. But definitely not what happened in the game. She played f6, which was a really bad move, I think.
Yeah, it allows your activation actually from all of your pieces.
Yes.
Probably she missed the bishop d5 check, I think. Otherwise, why to play f6 if you see that the opponent can play bishop d5? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe she forgot about that indeed. So bishop d5, king h8, knight e6, rook e8, knight g7, king g7, e6, queen c8, queen f3. Well, here I was very happy about my position. Everything is
Of
fine.
course, I was also very satisfied.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. F5, bishop d2, knight d8, rook a to e1, rook b8. Well, here maybe, okay, it's not a bad move. I played b4, but there was no reason, I think, to open up the position there. I could have just played normally with h3, g4, king h2, and then deliver a mate slowly to black's king, not allowing opening up anywhere. But of course, how I did play also is not a bad move, but with a short time control, maybe it was better to keep it simple.
Yeah, exactly. You overcomplicated somehow.
Yes. So I played b4, knight g4 followed, h3, knight f6, g4, f takes, h takes, bishop d5, c takes, queen a6, knight c4, queen takes a2, b5, knight b7, f5. Well, by this point I already thought that I will soon deliver a mate. And
exactly, it looks like this because the black king has no real defense there, and everything you got on the board, it's looking at the king. So it should be normally. This is the correct evaluation. Mate is coming, right?
right.
At least it was what I thought.
You know, like winter is coming.
Something like that. Yeah, exactly. Mate is coming.
Yes. And well, also my opponent was really low on time by this point, so she was playing on her last 10 seconds and I had like 2 minutes. So I thought that couldn't last much longer, but somehow maybe I just scored the point in my head too fast. f5, g5 she played, bishop takes g5, a free pawn, rook g8, rook e2, queen b3, queen h3, king h8. Here somehow I already started to go wrong because I failed to realize that knight e5 is winning on the spot. Because, well, knight f7 is coming, knight g6 is coming, everything is coming.
Yeah. Okay, but it's also tempting to have two connected passed on the 6th rank. So it's
Right.
excusable if you just take without calculating anything.
It's good when the team's captain finds excuses for yourself. Feels better.
No, it's not just an excuse. It's normal. I don't know. Probably I would have taken also. I don't know. I like the position. Of course, without calculating that it's made in 2 or something concrete, but from this point of view, it looks very nice. Now I don't know why didn't you push that d5 pawn at all till the end of the game until you lost it.
That's a very, very good question.
Now I was expecting d6 without blinking.
Yeah. So let's go to that moment. Bishop takes f6, e takes, e7, queen b5, rook e1, rook e8. Well, I could have played d6 at any point. Okay, but
exactly. I don't know why didn't you play it.
Rook h2 is still fine. I mean, it's not spoiling it completely.
Yeah, of course.
Rook g7, queen h4, rook f7. Yeah, and here was the last moment when I could have played d6, but somehow I didn't realize with that second ticking down that after queen d7 I'm not losing the pawn on d6 and I can play rook e6. So somehow this move completely escaped my sight. I don't know why. I thought that I'm losing this pawn, but now I see that I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, it was easy, just without calculation. Actually, you can go forward with the pawn.
Yes.
Okay, if you don't see the rook e6 move, then it's as you said, you don't want to give it for free.
Yeah, I think for some reason I already panicked here that I'm not winning immediately. I expected to win this game much faster, and when I saw that she's still hanging on there, then I started to see ghosts, And then finally the ghost came for me. Yeah. So Lucky Fritter is asking if it's the first time that we speak English together.
Yes. No? Or I don't know. I don't remember. I have a very weak memory, so
I
you
think
correct
we
me.
actually did speak English last year in Batumi when we were hanging around with our Hungarian friends. So
Yeah, okay, yeah. But it was a larger group, so
right.
it's different a little bit.
Okay, so yeah, unfortunately I didn't find d6 and instead I went for king f2, queen d7, and here again okay, this e6 square completely escaped from my side because again I could have played rook e6 and nothing wrong is happening. I can still take on f6 on the next move and I'm still winning.
Still winning, yeah.
Instead I played rook e to h1, which is just panic move, and after rook e to e7 I'm actually in big trouble. And okay, I will not show my shameful way of losing this plus 10. I think the engine was showing from plus 10 to plus 12 for like the last 20 moves. So
Incredible, yeah.
yes, that's where the match started to go wrong for us.
Exactly.
Yeah, so let's move on to the next game. The next game was Corina's game against Krumina, but I don't know, I think it was not a very eventful game. So Black was defending.
I think she was in a bad position, but somehow she managed to defend that end game. Yeah, it was a very weak pawn structure. So at some point, as I remember, I don't know. I will always scroll through the game quickly. Yeah, it was that very ugly pawn structure for her. I don't know if she was in big trouble. I didn't see it exactly how, but I felt that can go wrong. So draw was a great
a good result. Yeah, judging by how the position
the events.
went. Okay, in the next game, it was our junior board where international master Michna Kostaki had the white pieces. It was a King's Indian with e4, d6, bishop e2, knight d7. I think they call it the Averbach, though I'm not a big King's Indian expert.
Me neither, but I think you are right about the name.
Alright, so bishop g5 happened here, c5, d5, queen a5. I briefly checked this, and apparently the main move for white here is returning with the bishop d2. Now that I see it, it looks pretty logical, but without knowing it in advance, it's not the most natural move to make, I think.
Exactly.
So Michna played queen d2, a6, f3, rook b8, a4, h6, bishop e3, knight e5. Well, I would say
no, I don't like to exchange the queens here. I don't know, but probably you must find some way to develop the knight from g1. It's not that easy, but you have to work on somehow.
Yeah, because knight h3 may run into bishop h3.
Exactly.
So yeah, he chose to play knight b1 and go for this endgame, where after short castle, knight c3. I'm not sure who's better and why in this position.
Probably it's about equal, but as I was saying, if you have space advantage, then it's better to avoid queen exchange, right? It's
right. Yes.
Strategical ideas. Right?
Yeah, because then it's easier for the pieces who have less space to move around.
strategical basis. That's why I don't like when I saw the queen exchange. I didn't like it at all.
Right.
But okay, maybe it wasn't any other good advice for white to continue. So maybe he was a little bit forced to do this. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, knight c3 followed e6, f4, knight d7, d takes, f takes, knight h3. The knight is finally back in the game, though I'm not sure why on h3 and not on f3. But okay.
Okay, even from f3, it cannot go anywhere further. So maybe he wanted to put it on f2 to consolidate somehow. I don't know. What
Maybe
was
his
he
idea
thinking? Probably
was
on
better.
f2 next. I don't know. I didn't see exactly how the game went.
Knight h3,
Probably
b6,
not.
short castle, bishop b7.
He wanted to put his bishop on f3.
Yeah, probably that was why he put the knight on h3.
Yeah.
Knight e8, bishop g4, bishop d4 check, king h1, knight g7, rook e1, rook e8. By the way, Aline, how do you call these positions? Is this a middle game or is this an end game? I'm just curious.
As far as I know, it's too early to call it an endgame because there are still a lot of pieces on the board. So it's a kind of late middle game or something like this.
Yeah.
But I think it's too early to call it endgame because only the queens are exchanged.
Yeah, but it's so tempting when the queens go off the board
Yeah,
just
you
to call
said
it
already,
an endgame.
it's an endgame. So you play like you're in an endgame, but it's not like that because you have a lot of pieces to create some tactics, and so that's why it's still a middle game.
Right. So Lucky Fritter is saying that maybe we can call it a queenless middle game.
Something like this, yes, a late middle game.
Right.
In which I was expecting that knight from h3 to come to f2 10 moves ago, or 10 moves in a row since move 10 or when he went on h3.
Yeah, and unfortunately I think it went there in another 10 moves. Yeah. All right, let's check it. Bishop f3, king h7, g3, rook e7, b3, rook f7, knight e2, e5, knight takes d4, where here probably it was better for black to take with the c-pawn on d4.
And finally knight f2.
Yeah, it takes knight f2. Yeah, finally the knight came to the nice square. Rook e8, rook e2, a5, king g2, rook e7. Well, this went on and on and on. Let me scroll it.
Somehow white lost a pawn at once, at one point. I don't remember exactly. I think he pushed it or somehow.
Yeah, at move 35, he played knight f6, e5, and that was the moment when he went wrong, because he could have just calmly played knight f2.
Knight f2 and wait, just wait. And still have a little bit of an advantage. But probably it's not easy to continue.
Yeah, probably. That's my feeling. But I think the engine suggested here when I was checking the game that black has the knight f5 move, which looks completely unbelievable. But when you start thinking, then...
and just go g take f5, g take f5, and then on that pins.
Yes.
Somehow.
F takes e4 is coming, and white might get into trouble here.
Yeah, the g file will open. You cannot push e5 because rook g8 or g7 check, and you'll lose the bishop from f3. Interesting idea. I didn't see this.
Yeah, so maybe he saw that and played e5. And after knight g4, bishop b7, rook b7, e takes d6. Actually, he was still doing fine. After rook e2, knight f6, knight e5, knight f5, king f3, knight d6. Here, if he would have just played knight d3 and tried to calmly...
Okay, but you feel you already lost a pawn and it was not something you wanted.
Yes,
that's
of
why
course.
maybe over the board you are not so confident that it's okay if you play knight d3.
Yes,
because
sure.
you feel something went wrong already.
Yeah. Anyway, after he played knight c6, then it was difficult for white to hold the position, and black managed to convert his pawn advantage. So, that was it. Let's move on to the next game.
So it's equal score so far, right?
Yes, indeed. The last game of the match is between the junior girls. Miruna Lehach was playing with the black pieces. d4, knight f6, knight f3, e6, bishop g5, c5, e3, b6, bishop d3, bishop b7, castle, bishop e7, knight d2, short castle, c3. I think that she was really unlucky in this game because...
she seemed to be very fine.
Yes.
I was looking from time to time and I was always confident about her position.
Right. Knight c6, rook c1, c takes d4, c takes d4, knight b4, bishop b1, bishop a6, rook e1, knight d3, exchanges, knight e5, bishop a6, queen a4, bishop c8. Well, it's not a good looking move, but it's one which does its job, so nothing to worry here, I think. Still, all is fine. e4, a6, rook c3, h6, bishop h4. And actually, it's quite funny that here she sacrificed with knight takes e4, which turned out to be really good. But actually, on the way, white missed a win here, because rook takes c8 is actually working. Rook c8, and after rook c8, bishop e7, queen e7, and knight e4. Well, it's still not a win, but white gains 2 pieces for a rook and a bishop, which is considered to be good for white. But her opponent did not find it, and she took on e4 instead. And after...
Sorry, my Zoom was freezed for a moment, so I thought I'm out of the transmission. Sorry.
No, you're back.
yeah, now I see.
All right.
Everything is okay.
But after bishop takes h4, well, black is a pawn up, and white has some visual activity, but actually it brings nothing. Knight d6, b5, knight takes b5, but now bishop e7.
Yeah, I think it was a good decision to give back that pawn and to finish the development, and with the bishop pair, black should be better here.
Right. Yes, I think you're definitely right here. Rook g3, bishop b7, knight c3. Well, here I didn't like the move d5 because
d5 you can find at least 2 reasons not to play d5, right? You allow still that knight on e5 and you block your bishop, your own very strong bishop, from b7.
Yes, so probably she was afraid of knight e4 or something like that. She wanted to stop it, but
anyway,
that's where she started to go wrong. So d5.
Yeah, exactly.
Queen d1, bishop h4, rook h3, bishop f6, queen g4, king h7, rook g3, rook c8, knight e2, queen a5, rook f1, rook c7, knight f4, and here...
Now white has an extra piece, if we count the normal pieces from the board, because the bishop from b7 you cannot count it as a piece.
Yes, unfortunately, that d5 was really an uninspired move. But here, black, she just blundered, but not out of good life. Of course, she could have tried something else. I don't know how the time was by this point.
I think she was already getting in serious time trouble because she didn't find a good way to defend her position. I don't remember exactly, but I know she was short on time quickly after that decision after d5.
I see. Yeah,
probably she realized it after she played it that it was a bad idea.
Yes, I'm sure
it
she
was
did.
Too late.
Yeah. So here she played rook g8, but after knight takes f7, white is winning actually. So that's how the match went wrong for us after convincingly winning on the first two boards. Actually, yes, the rest of us in detail, let's say, struggled a bit. So yeah, unfortunately we lost this one against Latvia with 3.5 to 2.5, and I think maybe I was the last one playing, and that felt even more disgusting.
I think so. Yes, I think if I remember correctly, yes, you were the last one.
Yeah.
Yes, and you were still winning because the moment with the d6 was not still lost in your game. You could have played it 3 or 4 moves in a row.
You should have turned on the mic and started to cough loudly, maybe on Zoom,
something less. Yeah.
And say d6.
Exactly, yeah. As they say, as they do it in movies, like in comedies. d6.
And then no one would be able to prove anything. Okay, we're just joking, of course.
No,
but
actually, the arbiters are recording the Zoom conferences.
Ah, really?
So I would get at least a red card for this if I do it.
Okay, so. I see. Yeah, that's unfortunate then.
Yeah. I saw the recording button always is pushed on, and we are not allowed to do anything.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it was good for us that we secured our qualification with 2 matches in advance. So that we didn't lose our chance in the top division by having this upset. And actually, in the last match, we played against Moldova, and the match went completely wrong from early on. I think everyone was struggling with their positions, and kudos to Moldova for a good fight, because they still had some chances to qualify if winning against us.
Yeah, I was hoping at least if they beat us, at least they also qualify. But unfortunately, Slovakia won their last match, so
yeah, it did not make a difference that we showed some friendship to our neighbors.
Yeah.
All right. I think we can conclude it here. So, guys, if you want to ask some questions to Aline, then take the chance of doing so. It's not often we have guests on the stream, so I'm quite happy that Aline agreed to be here with us tonight. If you don't have questions, guys, I have a lot of questions, so I will be teasing Aline with my ideas, so please go on.
Okay. Kick it.
Okay, so the first question I have for you will be, what is your expectation what are your expectations or hopes for us in the top division?
For the next stage?
Yes.
Well, I was thinking that, okay, let's suppose all the teams qualified from this second division are mainly equal, more or less. Okay, as as calculations from ratings or something. Anyway, so there are 15 good teams. 5 even stronger. They were already qualified. So
Right.
there are 20 teams, strong teams. Okay, but I'm guessing that the invitational teams from the other continents are not at the same level as us. So it would be 20 good teams and 20 not so good, let's say. They will be split in 4 divisions, equal. I think they said they will make it to be reasonably equilibrated, let's say. So if there are 4 good teams and 4 not so good, 5, sorry, 5 good teams and 5 not so good teams in a division, and the first 3 qualifies, so it leaves us with, I think, a very good uh, chances to go further, because 3 of the 5 better teams should qualify. So we have,
We just need
I think,
to win against
more than 50%, I think.
So we need to win against the lower rated teams.
Yes.
And then to score some victories against the similar rated or slightly higher rated.
Yeah, exactly. I think if we do some scores, let's say 2 losses and 2 wins against the equal teams, and we win against all the others, I think it's an easy qualification.
I see.
So we don't have to do anything special to qualify. We must qualify, I think.
That's also what I hope that would be the case. Actually, for the ones who don't know, the next stage will happen on the next weekend. So again, Friday, Saturday and Sunday will be time for 4 matches. Hello, Bobby Boulder. Welcome to the stream. Lucky Fritter has a question. I play Petrov with black and I hate the line 3 bishop c4. How 3 bishop c4 at Petrov? Not sure. Or you mean the Jukopia? I don't really understand the question. 3 bishop c4, knight e4, knight c3, knight c3, dc3, f6. Wow, that's a line I never heard about. White gambits a pawn, but gets an amazing attack, and I never find the correct defense. How can I avoid this line? Could I play 4 knight c6? Well, Aline, you have time to think.
So e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6, bishop c4 now.
Yes.
Knight takes e4, knight c3. It's a rare option for white, but usually knight d6 isn't an option in these cases.
Yes, I think knight d6 should definitely be
I kick the bishop. It's with tempo. I think it must be an option. I'm not sure if it's the best, but it should be.
Okay, so Lucky Fritter, you should check that knight d6 then. Alright, so if there are no other questions, tell me, Aline, how do you like the position of a team captain? Because you've been for a few years now.
Yeah, okay. This year, the normal Olympiad should have happened, but unfortunately, it's not. So you cannot really count me this year as a captain because we didn't have any events, any team events. This was the first one, and it's online. It's completely different from the others. Here, actually, during the matches, I cannot interfere. I feel like a luxury spectator because I have the option to see every player from my team on Zoom, but nothing more than a regular spectators.
I see. And what do you enjoy most, like being yourself a player or coaching? How do you enjoy chess more?
Well, actually, I will tell you a secret. Don't tell it to anyone. I still hope that once that feeling when I was a player will still come, and I will come back to the board and play, because it's different from coaching, but I think it's much better, and the feeling it's more intense when you play than when you are just a coach. So I would prefer to re become a player, actually. But I'm getting older and older, and
Oh, come on.
it's
Chess is exactly
it's
the sport
more
when
difficult.
one never gets old.
Yeah, it's true, but it's not that easy to do some things that you were doing 15 or 20 years ago. That's for sure. I'm wiser now, but I'm lazier, and my memory is weaker every year. So
Okay,
it's never
Aline
the
is just
same.
being humble now, guys.
No. It's the truth.
I see. So actually, yeah, I get it. That after not playing, okay, for me now also half year, I also really miss that feeling when getting to the board, experiencing all that adrenaline and joy. Somehow in online chess, I don't feel like it. I don't have any adrenaline, and during the games, well, I was not getting. Okay, I think the level of satisfaction was much lower, even though the level of distress was similar, I
It
would
was
say.
exactly. Yeah.
Yes,
Mm.
I see. Okay, so if there are no other questions, I see no one is asking anything else, then I will just thank Aline for joining the stream tonight. Thank you for
Yeah.
your time.
And thank you for invitation, and who knows, maybe we'll see also next weekend some good results from us, and I'll come back to comment the wins
Yes,
from
that's
our
the
team,
hope.
right?
That's what I was gonna ask. So, okay, we have a promise.
But
If
that's sorry for interrupting.
yes.
I don't want to promise this, because we'll also have an event, some training camp for kids in
Ah,
Euphoria North, starting actually Saturday. So I will also be there,
mhm.
and I will try to share my time with the kids, with the time being captain here.
I
So
see,
I
but how
cannot.
will that training go? I mean, with over the board chess, all the kids together, how did you manage to organize it?
Yeah, okay, we'll make some small groups, probably not more than 10 kids in a group, and
Mhm.
we have a huge yard there. So actually, if you don't want to meet anyone, you can do it. It's not a problem.
I see.
Social distancing, it's available there for anyone.
Ah, that's a
So
nice
I think
idea.
we'll not have any problems. But that's why I was saying that I'm not sure if I will be able to be online again with you.
Ah, I see, but we
But
hope that
we'll
you'll
see.
find time.
We'll see. We'll
Yes.
see what would happen.
Okay, then I would like to wish you good luck for the camp, and it's nice that people organize chess activities still in these difficult times, and I hope that soon the real chess tournaments will also begin. And
Yeah.
this being said, thank you once again, and see you next weekend.
Okay. Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you very much, guys. Bye bye. Good night.
Bye.